Shalom, shalom, akiyam. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kwadash. I would also like to give a double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, where I learned this 144% truth. I would also like to say peace and salutations to the hopeful elect, starting with the 144,000 men of Israel, which consists of the servants, the prophets, whom have been ordained since the foundations of this earth to sing this new song, which comes in the form of this gospel, which will be preached throughout all four corners of this earth and rest upon the ears of the innumerable multitude, men, women, and children of Israel, who may be scattered throughout all four corners of this earth. It's just Bayan back again, through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And I just want to get into a brief lesson, visiting the comment board. And this lesson came through the spirit. I was actually meditating last night, on the lesson, on my way back from running a few errands. And I go onto the YouTube and I see a comment left on the previous lesson I did regarding that Benjamite that came up last Saturday, and it was an individual that left an interesting comment. And through the spirit, I feel like edification can come out of it. Because as we know, there's new listeners coming into this truth on the daily. So through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Shai, let's go straight to this comment. And this comment was left on the lesson that was done, titled, "Thine ears shall hear a word behind me." And this individual by the name of DTLA 5052. Alright, right. Caucasians are the chosen ones. I'm not Caucasian, but it's obvious they are blessed and chosen to rule all others. Their destiny is in the stars. And interestingly enough, this comment is partly true. Believe it or not, this comment is partly true, and we're going to show that. But first and foremost, Caucasian, okay? And this term is used, on job applications. It's used throughout this man's system. All right, this name, this title for these people, Caucasians. Now, what is a Caucasian? All right, when you go to etymology online, the word Caucasian, right, under an adjective, 1807, of or pertaining to the what? To the Caucasus Mountains. Applied to who? Applied to the so-called white race, which we know they're not white. They're red. Okay? The red man. Okay, the madman, Esau. Alright, now check this out. We're going to read a little bit into this. By German anthropologist Johann Friedrich Blumenbach, who in his pioneering treatise on anthropology distinguished mankind into 5 races: Mongolian, Ethiopian, Malay, Native American, and Caucasian. And the last group he included, and this is, Evil E and his pseudoscience. Right, but watch this. And the last group, he included nearly all Europeans, except Lapps and Finns, Armenians, Persians, and Hindus, as well as Arabs and Jews. His attempt at division was based on physical similarities in skulls. Now, real quick, when you jump down to a Caucasian under a noun, look at resident or native of the Caucasus. Okay? So the Edomites, they dwelt in the mountains. Okay? And we can link these Caucasians, these Edomites, to Edom. in the scriptures. Because the scriptures highlight, okay, how evil E was living. Let's get this real quick. And you'll see why I'm going into all this in a moment. Bear with me. The book of Obadiah, verse 3, and it reads, "The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the cliffs of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart and his mind," right, that word heart in the Hebrew is lab, which is your mind, "who shall bring me down to the ground?" When you get this word cliffs, cleft, it goes into what? A fissure or split, especially one in rock or the ground. Okay? So what this is talking about specifically is a split or a gap. Alright? And the mountain face, man. Check this out. When you go to Obadiah in the blue letter, we're going to get it in the NLT. Obadiah 1 and 3 in the NLT, and it reads, "You have been deceived by your own pride, because you live in a rock fortress and make your home high in the mountains. Who can ever reach us way up here, you ask boastfully." Now going back to that etymology of Caucasian, right? Residents or native of the Caucasus, which reference, what are the Caucasus? Those mountains, those Caucasus mountains, man. You see? So Esau can be directly linked to dwelling in the mountains, man. He's the real caveman. Evil E. Alright, and then to go back to this question. Caucasians are the chosen ones. I'm not Caucasian, but it's obvious they are blessed. And hey, and that's a true statement. They are blessed at this moment. Because they were blessed pursuing the Genesis, the 27th chapter, which we're going to go get. But before we get that, let's go to Psalm 73 real quick. See, if you don't have the understanding of what the Lord's doing, you can be led to believe that Esau, alright, is built to rule forever and that he's truly God's people. Not understanding the mystery of what's truly taking place here in real time. Psalm 73, a Psalm of Asaph, verse 1, and it reads, "Truly power is good to Israel." Why? Because Israel is the chosen people. So-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. "Even to such as are of a clean heart. But as for me, my feet were almost gone. My steps had well nigh slipped. For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked," man. You see? Yeah, Esau's prospering. He's been given the blessing. But as you can read in this same chapter, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai set them up in a slippery place. I'm gonna jump down. Bear with me. Actually, it's around where I was. There we go. Jumping down to I'm gonna jump down to 16 and read down. "When I thought to know this, it was too painful for me. until I went into the sanctuary of power. Then understood I their end. You see, so you have to be dwelling within the courts of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai to truly understand the end of these Edomites, man. Which are so-called white people, so-called Caucasians, man. They're Edomites. Okay? When Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai allows you to come into his courts, then you understand what their end looks like. And we're going to show you through the Spirit. We're going to show you. Check this out. Surely thou didst set them up in slippery places. Thou castest them down into destruction. And that's where they're headed. You see? That's where they're headed. Their blessing, let's go get it, that they received by Isaac, which Isaac was Yahweh Shai, if you can receive it. Okay, let's go get it. Their blessing they received, let me get it. And remember when Jacob and Esau were born, it said that there were nations in Rebekah's womb. Okay? So Esau's the progenitor of these Edomites you see today. They're here. Okay? Regardless of what vocab Malone is talking about. Okay? He would have to explain away 2nd Esdras 6 regarding Esau being the end of the world and Jacob being the beginning of it, the follower. But anyways, the book of Genesis chapter 27 and verse 38, and it reads, and Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And this was upon him being Yaquab, okay, for the blessing. All right, he sold his birthright, all right, for some raw meat and uncooked soup. All right, but it was all through biblical prophecy. He was never meant to have the birthright anyway. He was meant to be put by. All right, check this out. And Isaac, his father, answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth. Okay, that fatness representing resources in the form of oils and gases, all the substances of the earth, the resources, excuse me. You see, this is why this man is delegating at this moment, because he's living in this blessing we're reading right now. And of the dew of heaven from above, right? NASA, right? This nigga has a space station erected in the heavens, satellites, right? He has a 6th branch of military known as the Space Force. See? Because he has the what? He has the dew of heaven from above as well. He's in his blessing right now, right? But it was only meant to be for a little season. And that's the beautiful thing about it. It wasn't meant to be perpetual. We're going to show you that too. Check this out though, showing you that it was a trick bag he was put in. Since the beginning, his blessing was a trick bag. Look at Genesis 27:40. And by thy sword shalt thou live. See that? And scripture says what? What did Yahweh Shai say to Peter regarding the sword? In so many words, he said, if you live by the sword, you're going to die by it. Put your sword up. You live by the sword, you're going to die by the sword, man. And that's exactly what's going to happen to Esau. He's lived by the sword, which is a killing instrument, right? Which would be known as the modern day Blicky and its perfection, those ICBM missiles, man. Okay? And everything in between that can cause harm. You know, any form of deletion instrument, man. He's lived by the sword. So therefore, you know what's going to come. Matter of fact, we're going to get something before we get that revelation. Check this out. And shall serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. Right? And we had him in captivity under our beloved King David. You can read about that in the book of Chronicles. It's also spoken of in Joshua. There were garrisons in Esau's land. This nigga was captive, but he broke that yoke off his neck, right? Because he had to come into power. It had to play out. You see? But check this out. It was only for a little season. It wasn't meant to be perpetual. The book of Revelation, chapter 20. But we get it. You know, this man has such a grip on the planet Earth. It looks like he ain't going nowhere. So I get the mindset that this individual has right here. I get it. You know, we get it. You know, it looks as if this man's not going nowhere. All right, you got this man's footprints and areas of the planet that you wouldn't think he would have been there. But there's a McDonald's there. There's a McDonald's in the, you know, in the middle of the Congo somewhere, man. You know, these niggas been there. So we get it, you know. But guess what? We get it, but you don't understand what the hell's going on here at the end of the day. Because check this out. Revelations 20 and verse 1, and it reads, "And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand," right? And that angel's Yahweh Shai. All right? We believe that wholeheartedly, because when you go to, bear with me one second. Let me make sure I make this maneuver right here. Here we go. All right, Khan, so when you go to, real quick, let's grab this precept. Revelations 1 and 18, it says what? This is Yahweh Shai speaking, red letter. "I am he that liveth and was dead, and behold, I am alive forevermore. Amen. And have the keys of hell and of death." You see that? And no, not hell is some place where you go and burn forever. Okay, Bishop Nathaniel. No. This hell is talking about what? One of two things, the grave or captivity. Okay? When you go into your basement, you're in hell. You're underground. Okay? And it goes into captivity as well. You see, we're in hell right now. We're being held captive. We don't have sovereignty. All right? We're subject to payments, man. Okay, we're in hell, man. But anyway, going back to Revelations 20 and 1 again. "And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit," and that bottomless pit is Europe. Okay? And that's where Evil E was subjugated during the time of the Byzantine Empire, man. Upon the fall of the Western Roman Empire. Okay, this man was being held captive over there in Europe, right? And a great chain in his hand. And you use a chain to bind something. You see? Check this out. "And he laid hold on the dragon," see? "That old serpent, which is the devil, and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years." Now listen to this. It says that he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent. What old serpent? What serpent is that talking about? Genesis, the 3rd chapter. The same serpent that beguiled Eve. You see? That spirit that was in the serpent is in these Edomites. They come in that same spirit. You know? Divination, right? Witchcraft, which is one and the same. Deception. Okay? Lies, deceit. Forked tongue. You see? They come in that same spirit that the serpent was coming in, which was not a damn snake, man. All right, it was a person. It was a wizard, a man. All right. This is the same spirit that's in Evil E. It was the same spirit that was in Cain. Okay. That's why the first murder documented is through Cain. Right? And it's the same spirit that was in Evil E upon him being born in Genesis 25. All right? Because he came into the earth bearing the mark of Cain, which is the mark of leprosy. Right? The Hansen's disease. Which, don't get it twisted, there is Israelites that are going to look like Esau. Because we've been scattered throughout all four corners of the earth. But needless to say, it's a identifier. All right? His blood coming forth. Him being lack of melanin. Translucent. You see? So he laid hold on that dragon, that old serpent. which is the devil, right, and Satan, right, and they come in the works of the spiritual demon Satan. It tells us that in 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter. The devil just goes into deceiver, false accuser. You see, slanderer. And this is what this man does, right? And he's adverse. Satan means adversary. And this man's adverse to righteousness, man. We've seen it perpetuated throughout his reign. All right, since the Greeks, since 333 BC, this man's been operating in this froward, crook, perverse manner. All right, it tells you that in 1 Maccabees, the 1st chapter, upon the 4 generals of Alexander the Great, being crowned. Who was it? You have Seleucid, Ptolemy, Cassandra, and Lasamicus. Upon them being crowned, it says what? It tells us later on, a few precepts down, that evils increase on the earth. These are Edomites we're talking about here. When this time of evilness increased. Make it make sense. Okay? Make it make sense. Anyways, and Satan and bound him 1,000 years, right? And this was that period upon the fall of the Western Roman Empire. Okay? Until the erecting of the Renaissance period, which was about 1,000 years. This period's between roughly late 300, because Rome fell, 476 AD? So roughly between that time and up to the early 1400s. But Rome started falling before that. But needless to say, it was that gap of time there. Okay? That 1,000-year period, which they call it the Byzantine Empire. They call it the Dark Ages as well. They call it the medieval times as well. A few different terms they call it. But that was the time when Jake was ruling, okay? All throughout Europe there, man. All in Britain. All through there, man. There's a book on it. I forgot the name of it. But needless to say, this is when Esau was bound, man. 1,000-year captivity, man. He was locked up through. And this is the time when he would wear garment, okay, until it vanished off him. These people had no form of formal conduct. The moral was just non-existent. They lacked morals. His old lady picking lice from her coochie. All manners of madness. They're eating soup out of grandmother's skull. Craziness, madness. All right, the things they were involved in. All right, but this is Esau for you. It tells us in Hebrews. All right, Hebrews, what's that, 12? There's no one more profane than Esau, man. And that taps into his sexual immorality. But anyways, going down to the point. And cast him into the bottomless pit. Right, Europe. And shut him up and set a seal upon him that he should deceive the nations no more. Right, there was a black cloud over him. There was nothing he can do. He was through. All right, he was cursed. He's still cursed. You see? But he was bound, for lack of better words. By Yahweh, by Shem Yahshua, there was nothing he could do. Like, there's nothing we can do right now until the king looses us. Till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled, and after that he must be loosed a little season. Okay? And that the Renaissance, upon the Renaissance was when, he was loose. He committed iconoclasm, rewrote history, all right? Been lying and completely destroying us so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. But notice how it says, a little season. And the phone chimed in, and it's the beloved big brother. It wasn't meant to be long. Esau's reign wasn't meant to be long. You see? And again, going back to this comment, there's an individual saying, it's obvious they are blessed and chosen to rule all others. Their destinies in the stars. No. They're blessed at this moment, being that they're living out their blessing. But they're truly cursed people. Okay? And then their destiny is not in the stars. I mean, hey, their destiny is in fire and perdition. And let's show you. When you go to Isaiah, when you go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 34, and verse 5, it says what? For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. And these swords, right? This is these ICBM missiles, the weapons of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua's indignation. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea. Okay? Now, Idumea is the Greek and Latin way to say Edom. And pursuing the Genesis, the 36th chapter, verses 1 and verses 8, Esau is Edom. See? Look. And upon the people of my curse. To what? To judgment. Okay? Esau is the wicked, as coined in Malachi 1 and 4. Okay? Esau's coined as the wicked, the borders of wickedness. And pursuing the Proverbs, (3) and 33, the curse of the Lord Yahweh is in the house of the wicked. See? The curse of the Lord Yahweh is in the house of the wicked. When you go into Genesis 36, it goes into the house of Esau, which goes into his genealogy. You see? The whole house of Esau is cursed. The whole house of them. Okay? But he blesseth the habitation of the just, which is the elect, starting with the elect of Israel. But it's going to trickle down to the rest of the nation as well, because all Israel should be saved. You see? But Esau's doomed. It tells us it here. Let's stay in Proverbs. Proverbs 20 and 28, and it reads, nah, you know what? It's Job 20, Salakia. And 28, and it reads, the increase of his house shall depart. Whose house? We're going to find out in a second. And his goods shall flow away in the day of his wrath. This is the portion of a wicked man from power. You see that? This is the portion of a wicked man from power, man. Okay? And the heritage, when you go into that word heritage, it goes into heir. Okay? And when you're heir to something, it's owed unto you. See that? And the heritage appointed unto him by Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, man. And this man's grievous judgment at the end of this thing, at the end of his captivity, it's clearly written in Obadiah. Back in the book of Obadiah. 1 and 18, man. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, all 12 tribes. And the house of Esau, the Caucasians, right? For stubble, right? Those Caucasians that you think are blessed. Okay? They're going to be for stubble, pursuing the Obadiah 1 and 18. And this also proves that they're still here. And they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau. See that? The house of Esau. For the Lord Yahweh hath spoken, and he signed off on it, man. So yeah, man. Esau is blessed at the moment, but his destiny is far from the stars. Okay, this is a cursed man living out a blessing that's ultimately going to turn out to be a curse. All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, where I learned this 144% truth. Lord willing, you Akiyam and Akwaf will edify. Shalom.